Good afternoon. It's Sunday. Well, the sun is out. That's beautiful. It's pretty cold, but it's okay. The sun makes a big difference. Wind's up a little bit. So I hope it's warmer where you are and you can get out, or you're warm and toasty by some place in your home where you can just sort of relax this Sunday. Around the world, there's a continuing panic. It's not unjustified because the ability to control the new variant Omicron has become quite a challenge. In Copenhagen, they measure it doubling every 2 to 2.5 days. That is in terms of the transmission. So it transmits very quickly. And that suggests that if you're near anybody that has it, and I heard one mentioned that a time period of 15 minutes would be a dangerous time period. But I don't think anybody knows how brief it can be. So what do you have to do? You have to keep your distance. You have to be careful about speaking the way I do when I speak to a crowd without a microphone. You can't project and with another person projecting back at you and know that you're safe. And you can't know who has taken the vaccines, and you don't know who has the booster shot. And what you do know about this Omicron is that this variant of the COVID virus, it punches through. In other words, it breaks through the vaccines that you've had. And so the new definition of vaccines is that you have your double vax and your booster. That's being vaccinated. But that's not the end of it. You then have to distance, you have to wear a mask, you have to be very careful. So I'm as reluctant as anyone else, although I've been very conservative, as you may know if you've been following these walk and talks, because you don't know how weak, you don't know how quickly, you don't know how badly you can be hurt until you're hurt. If you had a bad flu, everybody's had this, you feel great one day and 2 days later you're flat on your back. Well, this is worse than that. And once you have that concept in mind of the worst cold you've ever had, and you realize this could be worse than that and result in your death, that should be enough to deter you. There are many people around America, not so, as we know. So Copenhagen is really in a panic to have the resources to deal with its quickly spreading virus. But, even a city like New York, there are reports about there's great anxiety there, and the spread has already begun in New York. And so, there are things like closing down Saturday Night Live, shows on Broadway, restaurants, and we're seeing in places around America, sandwich shops aren't going to make sandwiches anymore, but their deli portion will be open. We're going to have trouble seeing staff because of age or because of comorbid things they have that might make them more vulnerable. So all of this is really important. So you have to take a step back. There are some dumb politicians, they are everywhere. Oh, we know the basics now, and this really shouldn't be a big problem, and so we don't see ourselves cabining off people and stuff like that. Really? Give me a break. Because you can't rely on the vaccine the way we thought you could. That is to say, it was like a silver bullet to the vaccine. No, it may be a shield, and we don't know how strong a shield it is. We know that it can get past the shield, and it can give you the virus. So keep that in mind. I suppose I'm talking to the choir. And this is a Sunday, and I am in my forest, my cathedral of trees. So with approaching cars, apparently. Now, what else do we have to think about here? Well, we have mansions out there, and he's now stuck it to Biden. Really, on the weekend after, Biden said we're working it out, and Manchin didn't contradict them on Friday, but he goes on Fox News on Sunday to say, that's it, I'm a firm no, I'm against the proposal, it's too expensive, I'm not going to do it. So he's disloyal to those people he's supposedly been working with. he's been playing this little dance. He turns out to be a bad date. But the thing that really upsets me is that Democrats talking all the time like it was going to be anything but this. We've been talking about this since April or May. And the S&M gang, Sinema and Manchin, from the beginning, have never been there. And we had Democrats basically building them up. And it echoes the bad strategy how Republicans used Democrats back in Obama with the ACA, Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. And, you know, there have been other times since, say, the nominations of Kavanaugh and Barrett. And, you know, we had Collins up in Maine saying, oh, you know, he's reassured me. She's reassured me she's going to follow what the statutes, what the cases say. So there's this thing, and I don't know why Democrats would lie to us. We're on the same team, or you would think. And then it only magnifies the victory that what we feared and knew from the beginning would happen does happen. So, and we've spent how many months on this? 8, 9, 10 months? Well, we could have been spending it on what? Voting rights? Could have spent it on racial justice. We could have spent it on things that would be both really good campaign issues and that we might have been able to compel them to break. Also, the way we dealt with Manchin was like we were asking him out on a date. You know, he's the chair of the Energy Committee, which favors his coal baron status in West Virginia. We helped position his wife in an appointed slot. Man, we should have been punching him in the face, metaphorically. You heard that, FBI, it was metaphorically. And how could they do that? Well, challenging his position on the committee. Would that have been easy? No. Once you install these people, it's hard to get rid of them, but it happens. And I've seen it and been involved in it. And because I felt badly about who was challenged, I don't want to repeat it, but it was on the Judiciary Committee. So we've got to fight like we mean it, and we don't. We don't want it. You know, they always talk about candidates. When people come to you and they say, should I run? You should tell them no, because to run for office, you have to have a fire in the belly. If someone comes to you and says, I'm running, they're inviting you to tell them why they shouldn't run. They're not really asking you to tell them to run. Because a person who thinks to be a candidate is ready to run through a wall. And if they're not ready to run through a wall, they should go home and read a good book, because they're not going to make it. We could have spent the year talking about narrow filibusters, you know, so that we could have a voting rights vote without the cloture vote of requiring 60 votes, stalling it or preventing it. We could have done so much, but we didn't. In another category that's close to our boy Manchin is the debate in Europe between France and Germany about nuclear or not, nuclear energy. And I'm against nuclear energy. People say, oh, there's no carbon dioxide. No, but you could radiate. It's like people should understand the science of the energy proposals. There's a reason that green energy is better. And among those reasons are the protection of individuals from the cause of the energy. So you should be able to breathe the air. You should be able to drink the water. You should be free of being radiated if it's nuclear energy. And what brings up the debate is France has said it's going to go on with nuclear. I don't understand the initiative. And maybe it has to do with elective politics. But Germany has had experience with a number of energy alternatives and has chosen not to go nuclear. So where do we stand in America? Well, on the eve of days of friendly happiness among families and friends, we should take stock of our political climate. Our own people are lying to us, telling us the pig is wearing lipstick. And the Republicans are lying to us much more dangerously about their position about America, which is that they believe in an autocracy because it's the only way that they can run our government. So we have to tell our politicians, you're not fooling us. Stop. Show some courage and fight for us. Or just go home and let us replace you with somebody who's willing to do what's necessary to protect and preserve our government. So that's it for the day. Now it's really getting cold. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.